I don't want to know how much sugar and how much butter that you put in this XYZ dessert that I'm currently putting in my mouth. Let's just live in naivete.
Welcome back and happy Tuesday, turkeys. How long have we known each other?
We've known each other for 2 decades.
I am not apologizing for who I am or what I like or the people that I love.
How do I be a wife? How do I be a mom? And how do I be myself in all of that? You didn't see that coming, did you?
Good morning. Welcome back. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. I know it doesn't feel like it to the people, but it's like I'm back.
Kayla's back. And there's
see
a
the little
baby
hand?
outside of her body. And if you hear any grunting noises, it's not Kayla. It's the little sprout that's in a wrap on her chest.
So crazy. Here we
Literally, I
are.
was just editing the one before this because that was the last one that we recorded. And I think we started it off by saying, by the time this airs, the baby will be outside of you.
Yeah. And now here we are.
And here we are. We're back.
I'm glad to be back. So you didn't have oh my God, postpartum mouth much? I am glad you didn't have to do any solo episodes like you did last time. I know.
Me too. Talking to myself was surprisingly awful last time. It wasn't as bad. On one hand, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. On the other hand, it felt really narcissistic.
I love it. Well, made it
Shout
work.
out to Mike for letting me do an interview with him that I talked forever with him on and then subsequently broke up into 3 weeks because that made a huge buffer.
Yes,
And
thank you, Mike.
We built up a good pad beforehand. But anyway, Christmas time is here. Let me put on my ho 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 shirt. Christmas is here, and some of our topics recently have been maybe more in the serious realm or us freaking ourselves out about the world and the state of the world that we live in. So we're gonna just come in and keep this lighthearted and jolly.
Even though if these circumstances happen in real life, maybe it wouldn't be so jolly.
It's probably true. I don't know what it says about me that my version of lighthearted and jolly is talking about ways to ruin a family gathering, but here we are. So this week we have topics to create Christmas chaos. Now, if you don't want Christmas chaos, just avoid them. But, if you are looking to stir the pot this holiday season, maybe force your significant other to break up with you. This might be a how-to list.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Also, just before we get started, I'd like to say that some of these, at least on my list, may or may not be from real life circumstances of family members or myself doing these things and causing problems. So here we go.
I love it. Kick us off, Kaylee.
Let me jump right in. I would say that one of the worst things that you could probably do with Christmas is to, without any previous conversation, change the status quo of presents. So if you're normally giving gift givers, to show up and be like, I thought we weren't doing gifts this year. But also, if you're a family of non-gift giving, to suddenly show up and be like, I brought presents for everyone, it's also not going to likely sit well.
That is stressful, especially like the extended family members who already are unsure of like, do I get this person a gift? Are they expecting one from me? And if they aren't, like, that's fine. But if they give me a gift, I need to give them a gift. So like, we need to make sure we're on the same page because that's awkward. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's weird. You can't just throw a wrench in the plans like that. What I would also say you can't throw a wrench in the plans is with the food showing up as a guest. Like if I'm hosting and a guest shows up and they're like, oh yeah, just by the way, like I just went vegan last week. What? Well, I have no food for you. Like you didn't tell me this beforehand. I have not personally experienced this, but thinking about people's like random dietary changes and not being aware, I would feel bad, but at the same time, like you didn't give me a heads up.
Yes, if you have some kind of like specific dietary need, that seems like a rude thing to spring on the host. Similarly, if you are hosting and you don't warn anybody and they just come in and you say, welcome to our sugar-free Christmas celebration or Merry Carnivore Christmas, just like implement a major food restriction when
to everyone else.
I think the social contract of Christmas states that it is for eating comfort food like pigs, similar to Thanksgiving.
Yes.
And if you're going to break that social contract, I feel as though you need to alert the crowd ahead of time.
I would agree, especially if you're hosting, you just change it because you're just like implementing that on people.
My mom did this to us one time with, I forget what it was. It's something that she always makes for every holiday season. And I can't remember if it was a Thanksgiving or Christmas, but one meal she came and she thought she was going to slide under the radar that she made it with a fake sugar. And I took one bite of it and I was like, what in the monk fruit did you do? It was immediately apparent. She's like, what are you
Yeah,
talking
no.
about? I was like,
Oh my
this is not the
gosh.
time. Start your diet in the new year like a normal person. You
Mm-hmm.
lunatic.
Mm-hmm. Were you the one telling me, or was this a conversation we had separately about someone was like, I don't want alcohol at Thanksgiving or Christmas. And if XYZ wants to drink, then they're not invited anymore. It was a story like on Instagram. It was not a real life situation, but I mean, it was someone's real life situation. I was like, again, I just want to have a drink or two. And now I can't because I'm not pregnant. So if someone like banned alcohol for me and then or uninvited me, I'd be like, okay. So that would not be good. You just steer everyone away to a different like they would just host their own get together then.
You'd have a tailgate party
Yeah.
down the road from your house or where they came.
Too much.
Okay, in my humble opinion, everybody, listen, this is just for me. This would ruin my Christmas if there was a Christmas proposal, either a proposal to me, to a family member. I just feel so uncomfortable with that whole scenario. Again, this probably would make there's someone out there right now hoping for a Christmas proposal, and I hope they get what they want. But for me, had I been proposed to at Christmas in front of our whole family, it would have been my whole nightmare because it just, to me, was something personal and intimate, and I wouldn't want all of my family members peeping in on it.
I can understand that. I feel like if you're close with your family and or you have family that's out of town, like very, very out of town, and they like were to all fly in for Christmas, I can see some people liking that. But I would agree. It's like the poor kids with the birthdays on Christmas. It's like Christmas comes first. I'm kidding.
I know, I kind of want it
But
to be a
like,
standalone thing.
yeah, like let's have a fun proposal situation separate versus like stacking this upon already a lovely day.
Yeah, yeah, because
I feel
then
you.
it's just the whole thing becomes eclipsed.
Going back to food real quick, on the opposite side of monk fruit, I don't want to know how much sugar and how much butter that you put in this XYZ dessert that I'm currently putting in my mouth. Let's just live in naivete.
Yeah, yes.
Ignorance is bliss on Christmas.
I wholeheartedly agree with you. Next up on my list, if you'd like to create some Christmas chaos, is if you just, once everybody's seated for their Christmas Eve dinner, we all have our Christmas Eve outfits on, the music is playing. If you just pipe up and say, raise your hand if you voted for Donnie J, I feel like no matter the compilation of family members or friends,
100%.
someone will lose their appetite.
You know, it's also funny that I have on my list. It wouldn't be a vote. It would just be two simple words, a simple date of time. If you were to utter the words January 6th, the whole room would just be like chaos, whichever way you feel. No matter what family, I feel like it just spurs on chaos.
Yep, yep, yep.
Yep. Oh man, anything political. Goodness gracious.
It's a real hot button issue. I didn't have this on my previous ponderings, but you could also really stir up the pot is if you just gift everybody a MAGA hat
That's a good one.
and then tell the family that's what you want them all to wear for the family vote.
That's actually really like a really funny prank someone could pull on their family if they're if it was the
If their
opposite.
family has a sense of humor.
Yeah, that's true. Oh my gosh. That's a good one.
What I was actually going to say is that if you could really, again, no matter what compilation of family you have, stir up the pot before people even get in the house by putting a sign on the front door requesting proof of vaccination upon entry. Because also, and aside from anyone's reaction to that, how many of us still have that weird little piece of paper? It was the
what?
weirdest little just piece of paper. Like honestly, it was on par with the Social Security card, where it's just this flimsy piece of garbage paper that apparently you're supposed to hold on to for your whole life. Anyway, really
I
get the
know.
people going.
I know. I know. I had on my list also just the literal word vaccinations. I mean, any of them, either all, especially when you have a new baby. Oh my God, it's like just any and all topics surrounding the V word, the
Yeah.
bad
Yeah,
one,
dude.
the bad V word.
Oh my god.
Too funny.
Okay, well, if you really want to piss some people off this year, you can just tell everyone what they got for Christmas as they come in the door.
Oh my God, that would be the worst thing. I'd be like,
That would be
I,
such a Grinch move.
I would be so annoyed because I like the like I grew it growing up, I knew exactly where my mom hid the presents, and I specifically would not go because I wanted to have the satisfaction of opening the presents and being surprised and happy on the day of Christmas. Now, in reverse mode, I would also not want to slip up and tell somebody what I got them, which I have done in the past. Oh my God. I planned this whole surprise trip to, was it Disney for Kenny? Because he had never been. It wasn't that big of a trip because I would have had to talk to him. No, it was, but I was waiting till his birthday to tell him, and then we still had time to like talk through the details,
Yeah.
something like that. Anyway, I had waited like months and months, and then like the day before his birthday, I slipped. I guess I slipped when I told y'all the gender of our first child accidentally, which I don't have a recollection of. Right before we did the gender reveal pop thing, I still think I didn't say what y'all think I said, but anyway, it's so funny.
I didn't hear you, so I can neither confirm nor deny.
But yeah, ruining the satisfaction of presents, I'm not a fan of. Sorry, I went
I
on a
will also
tangent.
say, no, I like being surprised at what other people got other people.
Same. I don't know what you,
Just the whole thing is
I don't,
fun.
yeah. I don't want to know what you got, mom, or what you got, Uncle Larry, or whatever. I just want to see everyone's reaction because I also think it's fun to watch people react and to see if it's like a true reaction or if they're trying to fake a happy reaction.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ah. Um, okay. I was gonna say, going back to the cooking, I always just, it's a lot of food situations going on. So any kind of conversation of whose cooking is better, mom or mother-in-law, or the daughter-in-law or the mom. You know what I'm saying? Like the weird dynamics of that can get a little feisty. Not in my
Can see
situation,
it.
but yeah, I
Mine
can
either,
see
but I could
people.
see it. Actually, I could
Yeah.
just see me getting feisty about it because I think I've told Jason before, my hard lines are that um no woman is allowed to be funnier than me, and no woman is allowed to cook him food other than his mother or his sister. I was like, if any other woman feeds you, I will hunt her down and I will feed upon her myself. And it's funny because like we've cooked food for some of his coworkers or we'll like give, they've stopped by or whatever. And I used to feel weird about it, but then I found out not all women feel this way. So then I sort of chilled out, worrying, not
Yeah.
on my own reaction.
No, I can see that. Yeah, there's been some times where like people have bought Kenny lunch, and I'm like, why? But I think they're really actually being truly nice.
I do, yeah,
But in my head, I had this split second of like, what are you trying to do? But
I
it's fine.
know. I would literally rather him tell me that somebody else has nice boobs than for that woman to cook him a meal.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I won't go that far, but oh, that's so funny.
Man. Okay, let me also just, again, ultimate Christmas chaos. If everybody sits down at the dinner table, whole fam, and you just kick off the dinner conversation by saying, let's all go around and tell the story of how we realized Santa wasn't real in front of all the kids who definitely still think Santa's real.
Oh my God, they would have to be like excommunicated for a while from the family. Oh my God, that'd be so sad.
That'd be so mean.
I just thought of another dinner table situation that wasn't previously in my head until just now, but if you're the family that does like sit down assigned seats at dinner, which sometimes I understand people doing that, as in like we do it. I also understand people who don't do it. But with limited chairs and limited space and different things and babies, anyway, with our house being the hosting ground, I'm like, okay. So just coming in and seeing your name next to like the crazy cousin or the drunk grandpa, or I'm trying
Yeah,
to use
yeah.
things that aren't relevant to my life, but like whatever XYZ
Yes,
situation,
like
your
the
family
stinky
dynamic.
uncle or whatever, or
Like,
that
Oh gosh.
That weird significant other, the
Yeah,
family
the
member that
weird
has like a
girlfriend or
yes, they have
yes.
like a significant other that they just change out. So every season there's a new weirdo at the table.
Hey, it's better than your name being on the kids' table over in the corner. So
Probably true. I don't know, depending on the kids. There's probably some
that's true.
scenarios where I'd rather eat with the kids than the adults.
That's true.
Okay, waiting until everyone is seated to tell them that all of the normal traditional foods are out, and this year we're serving curry tofu instead. Or just any food that is wildly outside the bounds of your
Hmm.
traditional fare. Or intentionally leaving out the whatever your family's holiday staple is. We actually don't really have one now that I'm thinking about it.
Really?
No. My mom always makes this thing called cranberry stuff or fluff. I can't really remember what the word
Mm-hmm.
is, and there's controversy surrounding it. But
I've heard of
that
cranberry fluff.
that's always one that I enjoy eating at the holidays. But other than that, I don't know that we have any majors other than just, like mashed potatoes and gravy and blah blah blah.
Wait, what's the meat you have for Christmas?
We've been doing Christmas Eve. See, this is what I mean. Our family is not super traditional. Christmas Eve, we've done all different things. Sometimes we do seafood, so we do like a big shrimp boil because we have his family and my family over. Christmas Day, usually it's just my side of the family that comes over, and I have them over for brunch, and then I kick them out. So dinner is just Jason and I on our having like leftovers and hanging out.
Wow. Okay, what did you grow up with as your meat?
Probably turkey.
Okay, that's so interesting. We always had ham. My grandmother always had ham, which I don't like ham. And then me and my parents, I think, switched over to turkey once we moved away. But now my father-in-law does, is it prime rib? Some kind of
Yes, oh my
steak.
god. Yes. Jason did prime rib last year. He smoked a prime rib on the grill and it was so good. So we I guess what I'm saying is we just don't do turkey because we just did it on
Yeah,
Thanksgiving and I usually cook
yeah.
it on Thanksgiving, so we'll mix it up and do something different. I forgot he did do prime rib last year, and I sincerely kind of hope to bribe him into doing that again.
So good. So good. We have a lot of staples, but I won't go through the list because that's not the episode we're talking about right now. Okay, going back to chaos creation on Christmas. Sorry, I was trying to think of more C words, but then it just was stupid. Like literally sitting on the living room couch or you're at the dining room table and you're eating, everyone's together, and you're just like randomly like, who still believes in the moon landing? Or who believes in the moon landing? Or do we really feel like we landed on the moon? Anything to do with that. Oh, it's so funny the reactions you get.
It's so funny, and I bet you could divide the room in age. Because
100%.
I think
Oh,
our age bracket would at least kind of be like, maybe not.
and then the older generation's like, I grew up knowing this fact for however many years. Like, absolutely, we did.
I actually might have to do that this Christmas because my in-laws are not arguers, and my mother-in-law has some really abstract ways of looking at the world, and I would absolutely love to hear her
I
feedback.
would also love to hear her thoughts on that.
I'm gonna have to. Okay. I don't know if this would ruin Christmas, but it's probably not ideal, which is trying to plan next year's Christmas before this one is even over. Just, calm down and enjoy the moment. And this is
Yeah.
100% me talking to myself because I have a problem with this.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's like, why are we talking about next year? But I can see your perspective as well.
Mostly it's
Well,
probably because it's me being like, hey, next year, y'all on your own. We're not hosting.
right. Yeah. Are you still doing every other type of situation? Well, there you go. Yeah. I don't blame you. My last two are just your quintessential what not to say, as in anything about people's weight or diet, especially again while they're eating. And then the age-old question of, are you going to have kids? Are you going to have a second kid? When are you going to do this? What about kids? Kids, kids, kids. Are you going to, no kids? Yes, kids. When kids? It's like, whatever the question is, just don't ask it.
Or if you're waiting for someone to ask it, consider now a possible answer that will make them uncomfortable and punish them for asking such a thing at
Yeah.
dinner. Get it locked and
Yes.
loaded, y'all.
I love it.
I would like to just kind of end this all by saying that one of the worst ways to ruin any situation socially or family gathering is when there's a weird open argument between a couple, especially a newly dating couple. Like you bring the new boyfriend in and then they're bickering all night. Dude, I have not had this in like a family gathering, but I have had this in other social settings, and few things make me as uncomfortable as watching people just openly argue with each other.
It is the most awkward thing. The most awkward thing.
They're like coworker friends, and it happens on some level every time we're around them. Anyway,
Yeah. That's one way to ruin
bonus.
Christmas.
Yeah, right? These are just some bonus points for the best Christmas conversations you can have, just to try to end us on the holly jolly note that I was
Like it.
talking about at the beginning. My favorite activity is to try to get funny stories about my husband from my in-laws,
Yes, 100%.
because I've gotten some real gems. And I guess in my case, it's literally any story from my mother-in-law, because she has so many of them. And she's just lived a life of intrigue. And as I said, she has an abstract way of looking at the world. And then the way that she explains things is phenomenal. I also will just tell you, the world, as an in-law, ask questions of your in-laws. Like, they will tell you shit that they won't tell their kids. It's so interesting. I think it's just because they didn't raise you, so they don't look at you as a perpetual 12-year-old. But anecdotally, I have heard so many different times of in-laws, like the daughter-in-law or son-in-law, unearthing some unknown fact from the family history that the child of those parents never had heard about.
I can see that.
And then last but not least, and I know you join me in this, is just playing any kind of game at Christmas time. And shout out to my husband for tolerating this, because it is literally his least favorite thing to do.
Mine too. Mine too. Literally his least favorite thing. The only thing I got them excited about is catchphrase. Everything else, it's like my side is too competitive, so it also makes it not as fun, I've been told.
I cannot wait to come visit you and the new Sprout and your existing Sprout and have a Chessman family game night,
So
because
fun.
I'm not
Yep.
competitive, but
But you don't take offense.
No, oh my God. Oh, it's my favorite. The yelling and the playing and the game. It's the best. The last time Nan taught me a new game, and it was the only time I've ever not wanted to die being taught a game.
Wow. That's something. It's
I
like the
know.
fun Christmas chaos. Just
Yeah.
games and screaming and
Yes.
yelling.
Exactly. We now play Cards Against Humanity a lot, which is great because everyone's an adult, and it's fantastic. Okay. Well, your little love bug is getting a little bit lovey and buggy, and I thank him for tolerating this time together. And I'm so glad we're back to recording. And Merry Christmas, everyone! And join us next week as we break down New Year's, our New Year's.
Cray cray. Until then, love you.
I love you. Bye.
Oh.